I was so nervous to like stream again. Um, I guess I do, and I'm just going to explain it now. I mentioned it a little bit before, but I took a couple weeks off so that I could uh, judge and mentor robotics competition, which I think I'll talk a little bit more about later if anyone's curious. But I then had my work schedule change Saturday mornings because one of my coworkers who usually covers Saturday morning left for a different job. And so I had the availability technically, and so I filled in. And because of that, it was very difficult to find another time to brunch and build. I was trying to Heather and I have been trying to figure out a good time, but really any other time that I would have been free was like, oh, that conflicts with another thing that we're doing. I don't think you can stream then. Or just it would be not very convenient for anyone. And so we're like trying to pitch Fridays, but that didn't work out. That conflicted with something else. And so Brunch and Build ended up kind of just being hiatus for a little bit because I was working Saturday mornings. Probably noticed I'm not working now. My schedule got changed once again. Now I'm a Saturday evening Saturday evener. So that means my Saturday mornings have once again opened up. And I always liked doing Brunch and Build on Saturdays. I thought I always liked doing Brunch and Build on Saturdays, but it was difficult too since, I was working. Now I don't work Saturday mornings anymore, so we're just like, I guess we can just put Brunch and Build back. We could just put it back. We've returned. Part of me is like, okay, I kind of want this to be a soft relaunch. I was like so nervous and so thinking about like, oh my god, it's been a long time. It's been like a hot minute since Brunch and Build was Brunch and Building. And I was like, well, if I'm making my epic return, I have to we gotta do something about it, right? We gotta dress it up. We gotta something. I was very partial to the I was very partial to the idea of this is now Brunch and Build season. I too have watched that Moist Critical video and I thought it was really funny. Just not go that insane about it, but kind of just pitch this is Brunch and Build season 2. There is absolutely nothing different about Brunch and Build. Everything is going to be the same, but we are just going to call it season. And I thought that'd be really fun, but I also didn't want to just rip off Moist Critical. I also didn't just want to rip off. I wanted to do something. Honestly, I was just very nervous in general. I think it's the perfectionism of it, where I'm like, okay, if I'm coming back to Brunch and Build, we're bringing it back. We gotta do something special for it, and we still might. I want to do something fun. I want to have a special episode or something, for Brunch and Build, because it did feel weird to kind of just go on a sudden unplanned hiatus for a couple months. It felt weird to do that, and I felt bad because I was like, well, the people who actually do watch this, thank you anyway. Thank you to people who actually do watch this. I kind of just disappeared, and because this isn't my normal social media, it really was kind of just I fell off the face of the earth. So honestly, even on my personal social media, I did kind of just fall off the face of the earth. I am so bad at keeping so bad at keeping up with social media and things like that, which is very ironic for someone who likes doing this. I'm so bad at being like consistent and active, even on like my personal, even on like my personal accounts. But either way, it really did just feel like I fell off the face of the earth, and I felt really bad about that. I wanted to like do something special, kind of like let people know, and people that have been following Brunch and Build for a long time, I wanted to like something for you guys, even people that are who could be potential new viewers to Brunch and Build. I wanted to do something. Um, it felt different, and I was really nervous to like get started again. I don't really know why, because it's not like I've never streamed before, but something about it just felt not different, but it just felt kind of nerve-wracking because it's kind of hard to just be like, hey guys, by the way, just pretend that the past couple months didn't happen. Don't worry about it. I'm just here. Which is kind of true. I am kind of just like, pretend the past couple months didn't happen. I'm just here. You know? I'm just here. But I felt bad. And I was like, no. Like, obviously, I didn't stream for a couple months. Obviously, I just like didn't stream for a couple months. I've just disappeared off the face of the earth. Not that it's not just not gonna be. But at the same time, I was really nervous to get started again. But also, I missed streaming. I really did. There's just like something that I really enjoy about kind of talking and having the void talk back to me. Having people talk back to me. Forming like little space. I feel like kind of reinvigorated in the sense that I am passionate about creating this little space. It might be presumptuous, but I want to like make this little community, make this little space. We got something going on here, and I want to be here. I want to be here. I like streaming. I like building Gundam. I've still been working on model kits, obviously, in my off time. I can't divorce myself from model kits. I just wasn't streaming on here. I've actually taken this opportunity to work on a lot of. I just get back here and I've already started breaking Barbatos. What have I done? What have I become? Hello! Thank you for joining. I've already broken Barbatos. I didn't break Barbatos. I just accidentally dislocated his shoulder a little bit. I remember why his shoulder got dislocated. I remember now. Even though it's been a hot minute since I've actually Barbatos' tail. There is a shoulder joint that I remember. I broke it while I was building the shoulders. And so this shoulder is like nice and secure. This shoulder is like nice and secure. This isn't going anywhere. But this one can overextend a little bit because there is basically a stopping thing. Yeah, that connector like doesn't exist. That's why this thing just fell out. I'll probably have to glue it. I didn't glue it at the time, but I will most likely have to glue it because yeah, the thing that's supposed to connect into, I totally just broke it while it was being built, and so it is not there. Shoot. I almost lost the little silver tube. Already thing that this into part. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna clip it so that his shoulder doesn't get super overextended again. But I do recall we were working on the legs. To my credit, I did not touch Barbatos because that is for stream. I was very tempted to continue Barbatos myself because that Barbatos is a very fun kit. But I was like, nope. I gotta gather myself up and I have to get back into it. if I want to continue Barbados. So I actually took this opportunity to get to cook on some of my Mecha Musume kits. On my Musume kits, one of the undertakings that that I have embarked on, that I'm still working on actually, that I have been embarking on for the past couple months, is taking one of my Megami device kits and magnetizing it. Consider battle damage? Yeah. It's battle damage. Barbatos has been through so much. He's just got a little a wonky shoulder joint is honestly pretty good if that's all he came out of this with. So actually, this is a win. If he managed to survive with nothing but slightly dislocated shoulder. But yeah, I started magnetizing one of my Megami device kits, one of my Megami device girls, because I really like her different armor loadout swaps and things like that. But it was a little inconvenient because you have to like detach all of her parts and put them back together if you want to like. So I was like, why don't I just kind of take a page out of the Warhammer books and just use magnets? And so I have begun trying to magnetize her. It has been a process. It's honestly like kind of freaked me out a lot because it involved like hacking a little bit and drilling into this model kit that I paid like almost $200 for, because she is Megami device kits are not cheap. They're very good quality. I love them, but they are not cheap, even a little bit. And this is like one of my favorite model kits of all time. And so I'm like, it's very daunting to just like drill and start hacking at some of her joints so that I can magnetize them. Some of her connectors so that I can magnetize them. And that's one of the things that was like part of my delay even today, was I realized that my desk was just covered in assorted girl parts, which, you know, don't think about that for too long. I just had a lot of Musume kits that I've been working on, not just her. Have you done any other customs? Yeah, actually, one of the other projects that I'm currently working on is a custom 30-minute sister and Barbatos. I'm actually kit bashing right now of Barbatos girl. And so a lot of her various bits were also just strewn about my desk. That one's been fun, because that one I feel like I've hesitated a little bit less on just hacking it apart. Because for that one, I'm using a 30-minute sisters kit, a 30-minute sisters base, which is not too expensive, and like a $10 HG Barbatos, which was also kind of whatever. I'm not using Master Grade Barbatos parts, do not worry. My Master Grade Barbatos is safe. But I do like kit bashing and stuff. I don't do it as often because I do feel bad. Like, most of the time when I buy a model kit, it's because I like the kit as it is. And so I don't really have as much reason to get bash. Yeah, my desk was a crime scene. Yeah, my desk did in fact look like a crime scene with like various heads and torsos and legs just everywhere, and like mech parts and armor bits and things. So it did in fact look like a crime scene. I was like, maybe I should really clean this up before stream. I should really clean this up before streaming because it looks insane. But everything's okay now. Where did I put? Oh yeah. Let me see if I can probably, I don't think I can show, I can't show Susan, but I can show Barbatos girl. Where'd she go? I have so many boxes everywhere. It's a problem. Oh, this was her base. This was Tias. This was the base of Barbatos Girl. But I don't... This is just some of her extra runners. Where did I put her for real? Where did I put her for real? Oh, there she is. There's some of her at least. I just put her in this box. Here's some of her at least. She looks insane, but you gotta trust the process. For kit bashing, it really is like you gotta trust the process. Like a lot of this looks insane, but oh, where's she? Wait, gotta make it look slightly. I put her head back on now. Her head was not previously attached. We put her head on now so that she looks girl. But I am going to redo her hair. I want to make her blonde because she's Barbie. I want to make her, well, she is kind of already blonde, but I wanted to make her like more blonde and modify her face a lot. So that's why her head was not attached to her body, but it is now just for the sake of. Are you getting Zero Plan's Wolfclaw for MG Barbatos or Barbatos Girl? Wolfclaw would be pretty sick to do Barbatos Rex, but that is something to consider. That would be something to. That would be something to consider. Right now, I'm just operating off of vanilla Barbatos. I think, okay. Forgot why I had these random guns. I think I wanted to use some parts from the gun in with her as like a connecting tissue. But I didn't really do that yet. Yeah. But that's a small piece of Barbatos Girl. I also have like Barbatos leg that's in a different box. My cleanup job was a little bit haphazard, so she's a little bit scattered at the moment. I think I put her legs in a different box, but I have, well, right now kind of just looks like Barbatos legs, but I will be combining them with her because you see, part of why I'm making Barbatos Girl to begin with is that I like when mecha girls look like mecha girls and not like normal girls with armor on top. Like normal girls that are just wearing armor. I like when they they have like very obvious like robotic parts. That's why I'm like the obvious choice is to give her like the Barbatos waist. That it's like, okay, clearly this is like an android girl. Clearly this is like an android girl or like a cyborg girl. I like this. I love cyborg concepts. I love cyborg concepts. I love when you combine human with the machine, but in ways that are like not quite one or the other. I think it's so interesting to do that. I don't like when cyborg characters just look like humans, but like, oh, they have a robot eye or something. You know, I want the in between. I want the uncanny. I like it that way. So I like giving people very obviously inhuman characteristics, like little gaps, and like a person shouldn't be like that. So I'm giving her the Barbatos waist. I'm also modifying the leg so that it doesn't just look like she's wearing like pants that are robot pants, because that's what a lot of Musume kids tend to do, is they kind of just like put robot legs on her. Yeah, all or nothing. Yeah, I'm basically I love doing all or nothing. Commit to the bit. And so I'm still trying to figure out a good way for it to like be super obvious that she's robot, that her legs are robot. Like modify the legs in a way that's like obviously inhuman. And so that's what we're doing. But I do have the Barbatos legs. They're just in a different box that I don't feel like unearthing right now. Because I just put them all like in various boxes under my desk. Because I didn't want my desk to look like a crime scene. Susan is also in another little box. Oh my god, wait. Here's Susan's. Here's Susan. Parts. We're gonna remove Susan. Can I still show Susan if she's censored? Okay. But I just have like a bin full. Oh, that's a Pokemon card. I just have like a bin full of like Susan parts. Reverse joints would be sick. Reverse joints would be sick. I love reverse joints. I love reverse joints. I actually, speaking of reverse joints, we managed to get one of the 30-minute missions armored core kits, and we got the Steel Haze one, which is the mech with the reverse joints. So that one I do want to build like as is. That one I don't want to harvest parts from unless I can buy another one. If I can buy a second Steel Haze, I will 100% harvest that. But either way, I can kind of just reformat it to be reverse joints. I could totally do that. But here's my bin of assorted arms and legs. Of Susan's arms and legs. Can I show Susan? I don't think I can show Susan. Susan's a little too spicy. Susan's a little too spicy for the family-friendly stream. But those are just some of... That's just a bin full of various bits of Susan. And then, yeah, the rest of them are in Susan's box proper. Reverse joints are a good idea. Because I'm also like, I still want her to look like Barbatos. But I have things that are cooking. We have things that are cooking. Because I do love like I do love that you can see like the pistons. I love that you can see the pistons. I love utilizing like hollow space. Hollow space is usually like a thing that I like emphasizing in cyborg concepts, because it's like that's why I gave her like the Barbatos waist, because it's like I like having that hollow space where there should ideally be flesh there, but there isn't because she's a robot. She's part robot at least. You know? I think that's neat. And I think something with reverse joints, something with incorporating, because I definitely want to incorporate like the visible pistons. I love the concept of the visible pistons. I love that this MG Barbatos stream has become just talking about my Barbatos girl custom, which is not even what I'm working on now. I'm just technically I'm supposed to just be on vanilla MG Barbatos, which I've literally been looking forward to continuing for the past couple months. But I'm currently figuring out where I was. I believe I was somewhere. I have these parts. That's the other rough thing of not working on this in a hot minute, is that I don't entirely remember where I left off on. I have this thing. I do in fact have this thing. I think there's something. I have the thing that connects here. I have this thing. There is this thing. But is it everything? I can only hope that this is everything that's supposed to. Can I have it be actually see beautiful detail in this kit, in the inner of the inner armor, like the beautiful detailing in this plastic, even though it is all lighting I've always had, but it is also just like kind of hard to. It is just not the most visible feature. I had so many things I wanted to talk about, but then I didn't. But that is more or less that's what I've been doing. I've also been playing Gundam TCG. I've been deck build. I mean, there's barely any cards in the game yet, but I have been deck building. I haven't done any kit bashes yet. Just kept the kits vanilla with custom paint. I do like doing that. I like painting. Painting is fun. I've done a couple of just like vanilla kits with that are just repainted. Like, I think I started doing that before I started doing kit bashing. I did vanilla kits just like repainted before I even started doing kit bashing, because kit bashing kind of feels more daunting. But once you get into it, it's like, it's so fun. It's so fun to just like mash parts together that you think would look cool. I think I was here. I think I did this. And then I haven't attached this. So I need this. But unless I already cut out that piece and I already did it. This piece has already been cut out. Theoretically, I did already attach this. It doesn't look like I did that. It does not suit I did that. So I'm like, then what happened to that? That's supposed to be... P16 has already been cut out of here. Did I just like cut it but didn't? It's just like floating in this box somewhere? Oh my god, it totally is. There's totally various assorted floating bits in here that I just didn't cut out yet. I love being so organized. I love knowing exactly where everything is. I totally know what I'm doing. Yeah, this is what's supposed to be up here. This here. Go. Goes into here. Oh. Oops. That is not very flexible in a way that I thought it should be flexible, but then it wasn't. Wow. Let's see. What else have I been doing past couple months? I've been reading, I've been living, I've been doing. I've been hanging out. I actually haven't really streamed at all. I thought about it and I wanted to. I didn't. Okay. I think the top thing that's currently on the top of my brain is Apothecary Diaries, because I just started watching season 2 yesterday. And I was watching it more this morning, and I will honestly probably keep watching it after this. I just feel like there's so much to catch up on. It feels like, you know, catching up with a friend I haven't talked to in a long time. And then this, I recall now. This next up. Wow, I'm so good at this. I'm so good at following the instructions on a model kit that was given to me. The instructions that were given to me. But I think that is currently what's at the top of my mind. Because, yeah, this feels like I'm catching up with an old friend. I am someone very bad at keeping up with people. I am simply like, it is simply an unfortunate part of my personality. It is an unfortunate part of my personality. I am just and so I have been notorious for like dropping off the face of the earth, even amongst people that I really care about, even with like my friends. Well, I will just drop off the face of the earth because I don't know, man. I'm bad at track of these things. But Barbie, yes, it's Barbatos hours, Barbie hours. I'm just really bad at keeping track of these things. But one of my absolute closest friends, I've been friends with since high school for like for literally a decade at this point, is someone that I actually don't talk to very often. But he is still someone that I consider like one of my absolute closest friends. And that is partially because they're like one of the people that is also like this, in the sense that it's very difficult to keep up with people. That doesn't mean I don't care. And so it's a very nice and forgiving situation where it's like there have been times where we just like didn't talk for over a year, but then when we did, it was like nothing had changed, you know? And I'm not like, I just want to like on everything. It feels like streaming again kind of feels like talking to my friend that I haven't spoken to in a long time. And so I just have a lot that I want to, but also I kind of just want to build Barbatos and have a good time. Not really think about anything else. That's where we're at. But yeah. Anyway, Apothecary Diary. I figure out how the heck this together, because I do believe that I messed something up here. Because way this is, may have been me from the past that messed this up. I mean, it was definitely me from the past who messed this up. Me of the current time would never make kind of rookie mistake. Me of the current era would never make a mistake. Only me from 2 months ago would make such a mistake. We are two different beings, entities even. Us. I have no idea what I messed up here. What was I thinking? There we go. Catch all of this out from step 1, because my current running theory is I put this on backwards, which I think is very possible. Constant. This is this way. Is what I. attach all of this. Yeah, still the same kind of wrong that it like before. Like before. I don't. Unless I used the wrong part for this. That is in fact quite possible. Didn't like the part. A. Anyway, well, I figured that out. I've been watching a pirate. I watched season 1. Out because it's good. Season 2. Thoughts that I wanted to talk about regarding Apothecary Diaries have a lot to do with like what it's categorized as and its popularity. One, very happy that it's popular because it's good. I am generally of the I mean, I'm pretentious in the sense that I don't think a lot of things that are popular are good, but I don't think popularity is what makes it bad. I like when good things get popular. Like, I'm so proud of the masses for enjoying something that's good. But also, I remember I was talking to a friend I was watching season 2 with. She was like, it was framed like a romance anime, and she didn't want to watch just like a generic romance anime, but then was like, oh no, Apothecary Diaries is actually primarily mystery. The romance is kind of like the D plot, actually. The main plot is like political intrigue and mystery. Even though it's very much like kind of framed like a romance, it isn't one. And even she was like, I haven't touched Crunchyroll or anything in a very long time, but Crunchyroll lists it as a shoujo, which is like, that's just not correct. It's seinen. And I think that's like part of why it's popular, and one, why it's popular, and two, like why it feels very different from a lot of other things. Because even though it's marketed like a shoujo and it's framed like a shoujo, it isn't one. It's seinen. And just a little crash course on how anime and manga demographics work is shonen, shoujo, seinen, josei. Shonen is young boys, shoujo is young girls, seinen is adult men, and josei is adult women. Is generally the main like targeted demographics. And another thing that's very important is that demographic is not genre. Demographic and genre are two different things. There are a lot of patterns that emerge within certain demographics, and a lot of genres and tropes and things that are common to certain demographics, but that doesn't mean every single series with a certain demographic label is going to be exactly the same. Like, shoujo is not a genre. Romance is a genre that's very popular within shoujo, but not all shoujo is romance, and not all romance is shoujo. That's kind of why I think Apothecary Diaries ended up getting dumped into shoujo. Because on the surface, it appears a little bit like a shoujo. It's got a female lead, there is romance involved in it, and it is like a kind of typical historical setting, but it's not. It's seinen. Which is why it feels quite different from a lot of series that are shonen and shoujo, because I feel like a lot of the things that do get very popular tend to be either shonen or shoujo. Thus, things kind of made with a younger audience in mind. Not that it only appeals to a younger audience, but it's made with that younger audience in mind, and thus, like, I think, a little bit more of a mass appeal because it's just easier to consume. But I think Apothecary Diaries being seinen is like part of its appeal because it feels different, because a lot of things that are seinen or josei don't tend to get like super popular because they're sometimes just harder to approach. But I think it's really great that a seinen series got super popular. And also, like, I think it's, you know, you don't have to like stick to your target demographic for in terms of things you enjoy. It's like, I've seen sentiments of people being like, you know, boys can also like Apothecary Diaries because it's mystery. And it's like, well, it's because it's Saint one. Not to say that boys can't enjoy romance or shoujo or josei. It's insane to me. Gender is made up and fake. But it's... oh my god. Please. I'm begging people to, like, experience things outside of what they normally expect. I think there's a thing going on here that I was supposed to connect differently. I feel like that's what's going on here right now. I'm gonna detach this. I feel like there's like a little notch thing. There's a notch thing there that wasn't my one. I think I mentioned this before, that I'm remembering again now, is that my one gripe with it is that the instructions are definitely not the best that I've experienced. There's a lot of little nuances and things that the instructions just like do not mention at all in this kit. And I'm like, that's a little annoying. Why would they do that? But, you know, it's not like I made these instructions. I don't know why they did that. Goes this way. Thingy goes on this thing. And then all of this. Yeah, I'm a straight dude and I love Toradora. Toradora is really good! Toradora is a classic shoujo and it's just fun and cute. Like, I think it's kind of insane to me that people stick to those demographics so hard, where it's like, it feels so crazy to me. It feels so crazy to me. Hello. And so, yeah. I think what I'm trying to say is Apothecary Diaries is good. And I'm glad that it's as popular as it is, because it does break outside of the mold of what is typically popular. But it's also like, it's not like it's the only series like that exists. It's just the one that's gotten popular recently. There's a lot of really amazing like seinen and josei stories out there. They just don't get crazy popular like this. Like, there's tons of really interesting political intrigue and mystery and like the things that make Apothecary Diaries. Like, I think people kind of, I saw a similar thing with Free Rent, where people were kind of like acting like this is the invention of sliced bread, when it's like, I think that I think these are both shows that are very good, but they're not like new. They're just ones, like, the kinds of things that they do well is not new. It's just what got popular. And so it's like, well, yeah, Apothecary Diaries is kind of a demographic bending series, but it's also like not the only one that exists. It's not like the only one that exists. And so I just think it's good. I think people should watch Apothecary Diaries. Also, I think there's a whole world out there. I remember I was explaining this to my friend that, like, the reason why the demographic markers exist, the way like anime is generally categorized into sorted into these demographics, depends on what magazine the original manga was published into. Because that's generally how manga publishing works, is if you have a manga and you want it published, you go to a magazine, it gets published it gets published in a magazine, and all magazines are sorted by demographics, because that's kind of how that industry began, where it was like magazines exist to like appeal to certain demographics, and once manga started being published, they kind of just got published along with within demographic magazines. I mean, it's far more complicated than this. I'm not a manga historian. This is very cursory, and I would love to do more research. I'd love to talk more about this at length, but it's very much like it depends on what magazine a story was published in. Free Ren is shonen. The reason why Free Ren is shonen is because the manga Free Ren was published in a shonen magazine. Thus, the target demographic is young boys, even though it feels very different from a lot of other shonen. There's shonen, even though it feels different from a lot of other shonen, it doesn't exclude the fact that it's shonen. Apothecary Diaries is kind of demographic bending. It's got romance. People are like, oh, it's shoujo, but it's not. It's seinen. It was published in a seinen magazine. The target demographic for Apothecary Diaries is technically adult men, but technically seinen, josei, it gets kind of funky there, because sometimes it's like some magazines kind of just go for mass appeal, series like Dungeon Meshi, right? Dungeon Meshi is a seinen because it was published in technically a seinen magazine, because Harta, that magazine is not it depends on what. Some magazines just go for mass appeal. Some it just depends on how it's marketed and where it is. Technically, Harta is a seinen magazine. Technically, the magazine Apothecary Diaries was published in is seinen, but that doesn't that's kind of what I mean. Where it's I don't think people should just kind of stick to the demographic sectors. There's so much more out there. Being male doesn't exclude you from enjoying Angel Beats or Apothecary Diaries or Toradora or anything. Yeah. There's so much out there. Yeah. Dungeon Meshi is one of my favorite manga of all time. That's also honestly one of the things that I do to find other manga to read is look if there's a manga that you really like, you'll probably find other things that you really like if you look at what else that magazine has published. Because magazines tend to publish similar, not the same, sometimes it's similar types of stories. A magazine like Margaret almost exclusively publishes fluffy pink romance, because it's a shoujo magazine, and that's not all shoujo is fluffy romance, but that's kind of Margaret's specialty, is that's what they publish, that's who they sell to, that's why why they sell. Campfire Cooking in Another World, I haven't seen that one, but it sounds fun. I too have my weakness for isekai, but it's you probably will have a good time finding other series that you might like by finding out if there's something that you really, really like, find out what magazine published it and find out what else they publish, because you'll probably like a lot of the other things they publish. That's kind of how it is with me and Harta, because Harta has published some absolute bangers. I think Harta published Dungeon Meshi, but I have to fact check myself before I say this out loud. I don't want to spread misinformation. Yeah, I was totally about to spread misinformation, which had to tell you. I was like, I don't know why. I read manga, I tell you, it's really fun. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I love checking out like funky new isekais. So much so that the effect's a goddess, which I will only say so much, and you find out yourself. Nice. Campfire cooking in another world. I always love. I feel like at this point I've read so many like I've read so many like isekai and stories of that vein. Like I love my awful otome webtoon. My otome isekais, like it's such a weakness that I'm like whenever I see something that's like, okay, here's all the good ones that people should read, I'm like, I've already read all of them. Like what do I do now? What do I do now? But campfire cooking in another world. I'm gonna add that one to the list. I totally got distracted by my original thing. And that was about Harta magazine. Yeah, so Harta published Dungeon Meshi. Harta also published Hinamatsuri. Hinamatsuri's really good. Go with the clouds north by northwest. Akume to Mikochi. Enyale to Dewi, Any Dewi. Tadali. Koroshi no Oshi. They're all really good. Ones that I knew Koroshi was Harta. That one was. But Harta has a lot of. It's kind of an anime where you cook for a handsome dog. Yeah, we're adding that one to the list. But yeah, I think it's generally a good way to find other things that you like. Like there's a magazine called Feel Young, which is a josei magazine. I know I literally just went on this whole spiel about how you shouldn't be bound by your demographic markers, but so many of my favorite stories are josei that it's like probably my general like if something gets published as josei, I will probably enjoy it. Which is like, well, yeah, of course, I, the adult woman, enjoy things that are targeted towards adult women. And I spent this whole spiel talking about how it's like, oh my god, but you can like things that are outside of what is technically marketed to your demographic. While, like, my favorite manga magazine is Feel Young, which is a josei magazine. It is a josei magazine, but that isn't to say that I don't enjoy plenty of other things too. But Feel Young has a lot of really good series too, and that's like kind of my biggest advice if you're trying to look for things that you might also enjoy. Just look up the magazine that a series you like was published in and find what else they publish. And so I think that's where I wanted to go with that spiel. It's also like 1 o'clock. I totally started late. But I think it's also like I don't think I wanted to like stream for my usual 2 hours because it feels like it's been so long. It feels like it's been so long. I'm frail and elderly at the tender age of 25 that I can go. Oh, what's big? And totally forgetting that that's something my camera does that I didn't fix. All my orange juice. I didn't even drink all my orange juice. So distracted. Okay. This thing he ate This one is B8. Good evening. It is not evening for me, but it is evening for you. Good evening. This is oh. I think I've determined my problem. I think I've determined wrong. Like up here. This is up here. That was my fatal flaw, actually. You found it. Potentially. I mean, I also might not have. I also might still entirely be messing up, but I feel like that was it. I feel like that was problem. This thing is the important piece right now. Yes. Recall back into that's what it be. Then there unless it's I think that's entirely what's happening right. I think I still messed up. It's fine. It's fine. We can come back from this. Now I generally know like what the problem was originally, why the leg was just not sitting correctly. And I can fix it. This is the attached for this attached second, but correctly, which I HLJ's new policies are crazy. Yeah, the tariff policies. That's the kind of rough thing about HobbyLink, because they do ship directly from Japan. It makes everything so difficult. I like HLJ, but I'm not too surprised that everything with them is shifting and changing a lot due to tariffs. You can only use one type of shipping method, RN, and it takes like a couple of weeks. 6. Yeah. Shipping is crazy. I'm like at this rate, it's like cheaper to buy a plane ticket to Japan and buy stuff there and just bring it back yourself. It's so crazy. Okay. This is this way. This is this way. This is looking kind of correcter now. Kind of correct now. Show will be fine though with all the tariff nonsense, right? Yeah. While it's like most of our stuff, I mean, it depends. I don't think this will be like super affected because it's not like the shipment of things from Japan will stop. Like Bandai will still distribute things. Like we get all of our model kit stuff from a distributor in the United States. And there's a chance that I think prices will go up for things because like the cost of Gundam includes the cost of importing them from Japan, but Bandai like has distribution in the United States. It's not like we buy things directly from Japan and ship it ourselves. we go through a distributor who's based in the United States who does that. And Bandai itself like distributes into the United States, so they will probably be changing some of their pricing stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if the cost of Gundam goes up, because already buying Gundam from retailers in America is significantly more expensive than if you were to buy them in Japan. Like, a high grade in Japan is like maybe like 1,000 to 2,000 yen, which is like USD like 10 to like 15 bucks. I would net like the average high grade price if you just were to raw convert it from yen. And if you were to buy it in Japan, it's why Hobby Link's price, HLJ's like base prices are cheaper, because they're just telling you what the price in yen is. But when you buy it from the States, that includes import and shipping and all of that. So the average high grade price in the United States is like $20 to $30. And so it'll be annoying. I feel like the prices of things will probably go up, because now everything is more expensive to ship, and all of that will have to be calculated into the cost of things, as it already is. But I don't think anything significantly affected. I also don't think the prices are going to go up like that drastic. I mean, I am not someone who's like in the heart of model kit distribution, but I will say that it won't really impact. I don't think it'll really impact the functioning of this show. I like K-pop and build models. I also like K-pop and build models. I'm so glad I have a big backlog of Gundam kits I bought through the years. Honestly, me too. I feel like even then, there's also already an existing market of gunpla in the States that already are here. Like, the kits that we've already restocked. We actually restocked model kits this week at Tabletop. And all of those kits are ones that have been in the States even before the tariffs. Like, there already exists a market for kits in the States, even before, like, it will be a hot minute until the tariffs, like, actually start affecting pricing, because there's a good bit of, like, there's a lot of steps between something being made and it getting to here and being sold here. And so, yeah, even then, like, I just, in my personal backlog, I have a ton of kits that I just haven't built yet. Really, I think I have enough. If I were to just, like, not buy any more model kits ever, I could probably get through at least, like, a year's worth of content off of just, like, the kits that I already have. Let alone the fact that I do still buy model kits, despite knowing that I have a massive backlog. So, fear not. I do not foresee Brunch and Build being affected by the tariffs. I think it'll be annoying, and I think the prices of model kits will, and that won't be fun for anyone. But I don't think it'll be, like, impossible to get model kits. I think worst case scenario is that they'll just be a little more expensive. Which doesn't, like, super affect things. I'm really glad I figured out what was wrong with the leg. In a post-apocalyptic setting where it's bad enough that they still have a backlog. That's me for real. I would 100%, if the world ended right now and there's no more model kits to buy, I would be fine, because my backlog is that crazy. and I do still buy more, and yet I still continue to get more model kits. Because I have a problem. But, you know, for me, my problem is just content. My problem isn't a problem. And now there's another problem with it. This is not connecting. Not connecting. When it definitely should be connected. What's not clicking here? Together. I just like push this. I just thought I had this all figured. Something in here not connecting. That probably should be connecting, but it is not connecting. So annoying. Just felt like I fixed this and then I actually fixed this. Connected here. Definitely where it's supposed to be connected. Well, pretty nightfall and coming to the W. Have you completed the hit 2023 game Armored Core 6? No, but I do have a 30-minute mission Steel Haze kit, and I will give myself the stipulation I can't build it until I actually finish Armored Core. That's gonna be what gets me to actually finish the game. I really want days. I need to build the reverse joints in action. I also need. I don't know if I should just modify this one or try and see if I can source one. But I really want to build my main mech loadout. My main mech in Armored Core. I want to build it, and it involves those reverse joint legs, and I really want to do that actually, and try and recreate my freaky sending Steel Haze to the backlog gulag. I am unfortunately sending the backlog gulag, the backlog. That's so funny. I'm totally calling it that now, the backlog. the backlog gulag, yeah. It's quite unfortunate. You know what's crazy? In my current house that I live in now, my backlog lives under a table in an attic. It's a walk-up attic. It's a nice space, but it's very funny that it just my backlog stuff. I used to keep all of my backlog in my hobby room. Now my hobby room is too small to keep all of my backlog in there. So don't worry about it. I don't have a problem. Everything's fine. Also, it is past 1 o'clock. I know I started late to begin with. But I haven't streamed in 2 months, and I'm frail and elderly. And so my excuse is that I'm easing back into this, and also I have work soon. I had a lot of fun. I'm really glad that I'm streaming again. I really like this. I had a lot of fun. And I will actually definitely be back next week. I promise I will not be your dad who left with the milk. Who left to get milk and never came home. You might not trust me, But I will be back next week. Unless I like spontaneously explode, I will be back next week. So I will be I will be starting next week at 11, which is my actual time that I'm supposed to start. And so I will be back. The backlog. the backlog, yes. Unfortunately, Steel Haze is getting sent milk next stream. Promise, yeah. I will be back with the milk next stream. Don't worry. I just gotta go get some. I'll be back. I'll have milk next stream. I'll also have hopefully a fixed Barbatos leg. And also Steel Haze, but I won't work on Steel Haze. Steel Haze will be a fun little treat for when I finish the game. You know what? I'll play Armored Core. Do it. I'll do it. I'll do it for real, okay? Okay? I promise. I will be back next week with the milk and Barbatos at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with Brunch and Build. And maybe next week we'll put together something fun and funky. Because I do want to do something a little bit special for my return after my return from my unexpected hiatus. Want to do something to be back again. So yeah, I'll think on that. We'll think on that. We'll figure something out. I will be back next week. Milk. And as always, thank you to everyone who tuned in today. I hope you had a good time. I spent so much time struggling on the same part of Barbatos that I've been struggling on, but that's fine. It's just the journey we're on right now. And I hope to see you return next week for my continuation of Barbatos. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I will see you next week. Bye-bye!